Jagrata.
There is no growth without change. Without realizing it, if left to our own, there would be change, but not us. It's almost as though the natural tendency is to try to get everything else to change so that we can stay the same. This is the path of least resistance. Normally our seat of consciousness is not deep enough within ourselves to permit detachment enough from the ego to realize the importance of interchange. If we sit within the ego, it's almost as though we're hardened, we're fixed. This is what I have to work with. And the only way I can get things better or more harmonious is to change the things around me. Ultimately, either you're changing the things around you or you're being changed by the things around you. The ability and willingness to change is at the heart of all spirituality. But how far do you go? People always have a problem with that. How do I know if I'm supposed to change things or if I'm supposed to be changed by things? The truth is, it is so simple once you are really hungry for growth. Once you realize that you are your own problem, there are no other problems but you. None. The situation is that life is unfolding. It has a right to do this. People have the right to be how they need to be. Circumstances have a right to unfold in the way they unfold. There's nothing you can do about this. This is the nature of things. This is how things are. There are times when people will come to you and they will like you. They will love you. They will be moved by you. And there are times people will come to you and they will be turned off by you. They will be uncomfortable with you. They will be repulsed by you. And it could even be the same person, 5 minutes apart from each other. If you haven't noticed yet, it can even be like that. That's called reality. It's reality. You didn't make that. It's not like it's only happening to you. This is how it has been. This is dependent upon human nature and the different forces that are influencing the energy flow of a person. You didn't make the energy. You didn't create the patterns or flows that it can flow through. You may have had some influence on this person, but still, you did not create this entire arena on which it's all taking place. And you get enough clear to where you realize that life has the right to be life, and that people have the right to be how they must be. What are you going to do? You can't make something other than what it is. You can pull it aside and talk to it till it's blue in the face, until you are. And the tendencies and drives and motivations and samskaras that are within the patterns of that being will fall back into those tendencies unless there is real long-term structural, environmental changes, either inside or out, that are taking place within that person. It doesn't happen because you yell at somebody. It isn't like you didn't say the right words. Somebody doesn't change because they're talked to. Somebody doesn't change because they're yelled at. Somebody doesn't change because they're kissed. The behavior and patterns of a person are very, very intricate. They're very, very deep. They can change. That's what we're talking about, change. But they don't change like that. They don't change because you want them to. You can't make somebody into what you want them to be, no matter how right you think you are, and no matter how much you want them to be that way, and no matter how good your powers of persuasion or manipulation are. You're dealing with someone who has Shakti flowing through them and has patterns It's that simple. You have to see it that way. There are some scars, patterns, flow patterns. And when the energy flows a certain way through these, the person will behave a certain way. The tendencies are very, very strong. Somebody will sit there and say something to you and mean it to the bottom of their being. Then they'll see something or hear something, or somebody will say something and they're a totally different person. Totally different person. Say, well, wait a minute. 5 minutes ago you said, shut up. I didn't mean it. Then they go through that person, the thing stops, it settles down. Whatever, some scar was aggravated or stirred up, the energy changes its pattern and they're apologizing. Is this okay? Better be. Why better it be? Because it's reality. It's like if you have a picnic with a very special date, and you really, really want to have something special on this date. Is it okay that it rains? Better be. We're not talking philosophy. We're talking reality, truth. If you want to fight reality, you're going to suffer. You're going to have a lot of problems created within you. So we're back to where we started. Reality will change, things will change as part of the natural flow and evolution, which has nothing to do with you. It's just the natural, very, very slow evolutionary forces that are taking place. You are here interacting with reality. Either you are separating yourself, staying fixed as though this is who you are, then you're like everybody else. You won't change. Your evolution will be extremely slow. Or you're opening. You're opening even when you don't want to open. You're letting things touch you you don't want touching you. You're letting things stay away from you that you want coming to you. In other words, you are saying, I want to change. I want to change. The yogi is always saying, I want to change. The yogi does not say, I want everyone else to change. Because to say that is to imply that you know how it's supposed to be. You don't have any idea how anything is supposed to be. You only know that within yourself, you're not where you want to be. That's what the yogi knows. It can get higher in here. It can get more open. It can have more love. It can be much, much different inside. And when you're committed, that's all you say to yourself. I will change. I will change. I am willing to change. Not the kind of change that's a bargain. If I change, you will. If I treat you this way, you'll treat me this way. You don't like this part of me, and you're going to leave me, you don't like this. If I change this part, will you stay? That's not what we're talking about. That's manipulation. That's attempting to change the outside world in order to fit you. The yogi does not do this. The yogi is not interested in that. It has to do with understanding that you don't understand anything. You never said you did. That it is all much, much bigger than anything you could ever think about. Stop with all these philosophies and concepts and views and preferences and beliefs. How could you possibly understand anything? You're sitting on a ball of dirt spinning around the middle of nowheres. This is the state of a yogi. There is this deep, deep, deep awareness that things have to change tremendously, drastically, if you want to experience something deeper than where you're sitting now, something deeper than your current state. How will they change? This is very deep. Even if you say, I'm willing to change, I'm going to ask you, I won't say good, I'm going to say, how? How do you want to change? How will you change? And you'll give me some list. Where'd you get that list? How are you coming up with the concept of how you're supposed to change? Because someday you're going to find out that that's not good enough either. Anything you can think of is not good enough. Anything you can conceive of is not good enough. Anything you can make of yourself based upon thought, preference, perception, conception is all mental. It's made up. Do you understand that? It's not exploring what is beyond yourself. It's not exploring the deeper realities. It's still knowable. You can make a list. I want to be like this. I want to change. I want to lose 50 pounds. I want to change. I don't want to swear anymore. I want to change. Come on, get the list. That's a knowable thing. I want to ask a question. What if you were Superwoman or a man and you managed to do all those things? Now what? Now you're where you want to be? 127 pounds, real smiling, nice to everybody. Don't lose your temper anymore. Now what? There are a lot of people like that. You're just doing that instead of this. There's still a doer. There's still someone inside that is in control. There's still someone inside that's trying to manipulate and keep things a certain way so that they can stay the way that they decided it should be. This has nothing to do with spirituality. Nothing. Once somebody asked Meher Baba, he was talking about purity, sattvic life. And one of his disciples raised his hand and said, Baba. And he said, yes. He said, did you ever see how close good is to God? Just 1-0. And Baba turned to him and said, you could spend 1,000 lifetimes trying to get rid of that O, and you will never succeed. Trying to remove that O. That was so deep. What's he saying? Exactly what we're talking about. Your conceptions, your perceptions of what is right and wrong and good and bad, how I want to be and how I don't want to, all this kind of stuff, they still fall within the realm of mind. They still fall within the realm of an individual who thinks it's separate from everything else, deciding how it wants to be and how things should be, and then using its willpower to make the body a certain way, and make the mind a certain way, make the personality a certain way, and make the emotions a certain way, and make the heart a certain way. I'm not going to leave the heart out either. You're still doing the human thing. And what Baba was saying is no matter how good you are at it, good is not God. God is the releasing of the human nature and the merging, drifting back into what is beyond, into the self. So basically, to change, it isn't even good enough to try and do it yourself. You will eventually find that that is a dead end. To make your own rules and set your own path and do your own thing, there's still you. There you are every time you turn around. You look in the mirror, how am I doing? Are my eyes lighter than they were? Can I feel my Shakti flow? Come on. Oh, look, it's up there on the third eye. Oh, that's neat. I saw a light. I saw a light. Oh, wow. Who's this I? Who is this in here that is so individual, that is so separate, that it keeps seeing itself as this? That's in there is very, very great. But it has lost its sense of direction and its sense of self. And so its whole process is via the mind and the individuality. Once you realize, and it may take a very long time, that no matter how good you are at that process, you're not getting where you want to get. And that deep inside, there's always the fear that something will come up that will knock you aside, or some failure will happen, or someone will see that you're in there doing this. And there's still this insecurity. There's just this sense of, here I am again, I got to do this again. I got to put on a happy face, do my thing. Made it through that. Who? Who is this doing all that? Do you understand how deep yoga is? Yoga is beyond and beyond. So what do you do if you can't do it to yourself? What do you do? And this is where the word surrender comes from. When it is said and done, something must be doing it to you. It is an act of releasing. It is not an act of doing. Ever. The Gita teaches you this. You are not a doer. You are an experiencer. You are the self. You are the witness. These things are happening. And you're experiencing them. So ultimately what you will find is that you can lose yourself, which is what you want to do. You want to lose yourself, not hold yourself. And the way you do this, the ultimate, the highest path, is through surrender, is through continuously taking the seat within the self, within the consciousness itself, and letting go of everything you're clinging to. You let it go. And what you're going to find is that if you do this, that each moment of your life becomes a challenge. It always was, but it used to be a challenge to not change. Can I make you behave the way I need you to so I can stay the way I am? So I can stay happy, so I can stay secure, so I can stay comfortable? Can I make the finances stay the way I need them to so I don't have to feel insecure? I don't want to change. I want everything else to change or stay or whatever. The opposite way, when you surrender, is you're saying something different to life. You're saying, life, I am so sorry that I've mistreated you. I have tried to manipulate you. I have tried to control you. I've done everything in the whole world. Totally selfish. I was only thinking of me. I'm going to admit it. I wanted everyone to behave the way I need for them to behave so I didn't have to change. Do you understand that? We started by saying change. This is deep stuff. So instead, you say to life, I'm sorry that I've been running around telling you how to be. You be you. You be you. You say what you need to say. You do what you need to do. You rain when you need to rain. You earthquake when you need to earthquake. You love me when you need to love me. You hate me when you need to hate me. I'm visiting here. I would like to know what life is like. Not I want life to be me. I don't want life to be a mirror of me. I don't want everyone to be the way I need for them to be. And you get to that point within you where you're really tired of staying stuck within yourself and trying to make everything and everyone be that way. And so you apologize very deeply to life and you tell her, I'm not going to mess like that with you anymore. You do your life thing and I will do my experience thing. I will be here with you and I will experience what it is like for you to be you. And what will happen is you will get scared to death. You will feel tremendous fear. Even to think that, to think of being that open, to think of being that exposed, to think of being that receptive, without any control. You don't know. Tomorrow he may hate you, today he may love you. You don't know. She goes to bed and she's happy and she talks about how nice she is with you. I hope she doesn't wake up because I don't know what she's going to be like. That's right. How would you know? Isn't that terrible? No. She's free to be who she is. Then, if she loves you, you know she really loves you. It's not out of fear. It's not out of guilt. It's not out of insecurity. It's not out of, I'll do unto him so he does unto me. It's real. It's so real that most people would be scared to death to even look that way. And so you will find a part of you that's scared. You will find a part of you that is scared. Scared of what? Everything. Everything. Everyone. Every moment. It's scared. It's scared. It's scared it'll get hurt. It's scared things will change. It's scared somebody will see them. It's scared no one will understand. It's scared it'll be left alone. It's scared people will... Anything. Everything. Isn't it? It's fascinating. We don't know we see it because we spend all our time using our will to make sure that it doesn't happen. And the only time we're scared is when we're using our will and it's not doing well. Then we get scared. Oh my God, he might leave me. Oh my God. All right. You were saying that the whole time. You were just doing good at it. It is going on in there. Why not get it over with? This is what it means to change. Really change. I call it structural changes, not just decorative changes. And so you open. Not all at once. You can't do it all at once. Little, tiny, tiny little bits each day. Tiny bits. You open. You open. You are willing to let it be and let it change you. Even the weather. If you just took the weather and was willing to say, it will rain when it rains, it will be cold when it's cold, it will be hot when it's hot. That alone is a problem. You hear me? You're literally afraid of the weather. You're afraid of the rain when you need to go somewhere. You're afraid it'll be too hot if you have to go to the beach. You're afraid. It's just you have to look. You have to see that. And basically, you come to a deal with the weather. You be real grandiose about it. You say, all right. Be the way you are. You be the way you are. And I'm going to keep surrendering. Surrendering. Surrendering to the weather. How you like that? I'm going to surrender to the weather. How? By honoring, appreciating, relaxing, accepting, opening, experiencing, these are the words, how it is. If it is cold, I'm going to feel what it's like to be cold. If it is so hot, I'm uncomfortable, I'm going to feel what it is like for it to be so hot and uncomfortable. If the wind is blowing and howling and my hair is getting messed up and all kinds of things, I'm going to feel what that feels like. And if it's raining, I'm going to feel that and feel the disappointment and feel the different things. In other words, I'm not going to resist. I'm going to open to these things. Even if you just did that with the weather, you would change your entire being. That would change your life if you did that. So you start with your weather. Then you start with your car. Maybe sometimes it starts, maybe sometimes it doesn't. Maybe sometimes it gets a flat tire. Maybe sometimes it takes your money, has to be repaired. Maybe sometimes it's low on gas. You're not near a gas station. Every single thing around you is a source of growth. This is how the yogi lives. And you use it this way by saying, I will accept you. I will honor your right over mine. I will honor your right to break down. I will honor your right to have a flat tire. I will honor each of the things that is the reality in my life. And if I feel fear, and you will, because I'm opening to these things, I will use this to release my fear. You can release the fear. You just open to it and it will pass through. Your alternative is to use your will instead of surrender and to fight with things, and then you keep your fear and you also are in control and have to control everything around you. And that builds more fear. So surrender is the highest path. But you don't like surrender to a person. It's not like that. You just surrender. You surrender because you want to change. And that's how change takes place. And so basically you keep opening. If you can do this with the weather, you do it then with the traffic in front of you. You do it with all of these inanimate things that you can't take personal, but you still resist them. Those are the kinds of things, they're only this big. They're not like, let your kid do drugs and see if you can grow through the experience. No, those are very big things. We have trouble with those things. Let somebody with an axe come and cut off your arms without defending yourself. Don't get like that. These little things, the fact that you're driving in traffic and you're stuck and there's an accident on the expressway and it's backed all the way up and you're in the middle. There you are. That's like the weather. It's what is. Can you honor that? Can you let go of the part of you that is uncomfortable with this? And can you stop fearing these situations? If you will work with that part of you, you will change. So through acceptance, through surrender, through opening, through using life not to hide from yourself, which is what we normally do, by trying to make it be the way we need it, we hide from ourselves. You stop doing that. You have no idea how close it can come to you. Most people keep it way out here. If you're wise in each situation, when you feel yourself fearing or resisting, open. Open. Let it come all the way in. I mean, just boom, all the way in. There's nobody in its way. It's just raining right through you. It's just traffic jamming right through your whole being. You're not even there. There's traffic jam in the front, traffic jam on this side, traffic jam on that side, and in the back. Where are you? You shouldn't be there. What you're doing is sitting in the middle of the traffic jam, in the middle of the traffic jam. Why? Why are you doing that? Why do you have to be there? You are literally reinforcing your separateness by resisting the situation. That's why surrender is so deep. Surrender means it has the right to be, and it can pass right through me because I am invisible. Because I let go. How do you become invisible? No preferences, no concepts, no views, no hopes, no dreams, no fears, no beliefs, no philosophies. In other words, there's no one like that there. There's just the experiencer of reality. It's very deep. This is that close to merger. When you have ceased to resist and repel life, you begin to become one with life. You begin to harmonize and merge each moment with the things around you. There's nothing wrong with this. It's a beautiful life. And your whole mind will stop being neurotic. And you will stop fearing. You will change so quickly, it's unbelievable. You'll know you're getting somewhere when you wake up in the morning and you're willing to go through the day without any preconceived notions of what's going to happen. You'll know you're getting somewheres when you have ceased to think that there's such a thing as a bad day. All of the things happen that used to happen, but there's no one in there defining them as bad. There's no one in there defining them as good. They are just experiences. They are just, this is what happened next, this is what happened next, and this is what happened next, and nothing builds up. You should not feel all sorts of build-up and tensions and frustrations and all this stuff. That is all due to resistance. There are no depressions, there are no problems, there are no anything. There's just the experience of today, then the experience of tomorrow, then the experience of the next day. What is wrong with that? You think you're going to lose something if you do that? The only thing you're going to lose is yourself. And yourself is the cause of every problem that you have. This being who's in there, who's decided how it's supposed to be. Don't you understand? That's what's causing all the trouble. So basically, it is okay to surrender. Because surrender brings about change. And the question of, should I surrender to this or should I change this? I started asking you that. The yogi never asked that question. Never. Because the yogi doesn't want to hang out with the being who's making the decision. The yogi sits there and lets that go too. And you will find that if you let go, as opposed to what you're afraid of, which is that it will all fall apart and you will get nothing, and there will be nothing left of your life, that the exact opposite happens. It all comes together. And you become something much greater than anything you could ever imagine, because you have tuned into a force that is greater than yourself. You are harmonizing with life. And it's the most beautiful process you could ever tune into. There is nothing to do. There is nothing to get. Even your relationships, you have a misunderstanding of what's going on. The highest relationship is with the self. The highest love is love. It is not a person, place, or thing. It is having this energy well up inside of you spontaneously for no reason, all the time. That's love, isn't it? Until you can just saturate yourself in it, and it's just going on. If you see people, if you don't see people, all the time, you should be filled with love. That's a relationship worth attaining. What do you do with your human relationships? You use them to go there. You don't use them as need. You don't use them to get something. You're not going to get anything. Haven't you caught on yet? There's nothing to get. Only within your being, if you change enough, if you go through this process of transformation, of metamorphosis, you become a butterfly. You become something very, very beautiful. Every day, not all at once. Every day. Every day. But you do it through changing, not through taking. If you feel need for other people, it is better to use the relationship to release the need than it is to use the relationship to grab and cling and try to keep the need and keep the person. So the relationship has meaning. It has tremendous meaning. Don't misunderstand. Your dances with each other, the human relationships, are a tremendous tool for growth. And ultimately, you surrender to everything. You all think, but if I'm in a relationship and I keep surrendering, they'll always get their way. I won't ever get anything. You're getting everything. You're getting what you want. The only thing you want, which is liberation, enlightenment, realization, love, openness, growth. All right? This is not an ego game. This is not a tit-for-tat type thing. You are trying to free yourself. And the highest is, if you can do it with weather, if you can do it with your car, if you can do it with a traffic jam, maybe you could do it with another person. Because that's the hardest. And that's why you work with each other, whatever the relationship, be it friend, be it lover, whatever it is, child, parent, doesn't matter. Every single relationship will be the hardest thing you ever do. The human relations, because there's so much energy, there's such amazing ego and attractiveness and repulsiveness and all this kind of, much more than weather. Weather can't possibly get you like another person does. So there is tremendous growth in that, but only if used properly. And the way you use it properly is to use it to go to God. Treat each moment as if this is my last chance to go to God. This is my last chance to explore what's beyond my anger, beyond my jealousy, beyond my personal needs. Let me just take one more breath and go deeper and let go once more, just once more, and just keep doing it once more every time. Don't tell your ego I said that. All right? Just let go, and you will change into something way beyond anything you can ever imagine. Period. And everyone around you will change. How do you like that? Through surrender, what you have done is said, what can I give to people? The only thing I can do is take from people when it's all said and done, because I have such need. What in the world can I give? Let me get out of the way. Let that which is greater than me come here, without my even knowing it. Let me step aside. How? Let go. Let go of these things that you think are you. They're not you. So growth is a wonderful thing. It's the most exciting. If you do this, can you imagine what every day of your life would be like if you chose to do that? It'd be the most exciting journey you have ever had. And no one can take it away from you. Every moment you have the right to grow. You have the right to get closer to God by releasing yourself. Jagrata.